So why do I think that Vegapunk is evil? Well, I don't really necessarily believe that he's evil. I don't think that Vegapunk is a bad person. I don't think that he's like an Alkainu where he is representing good supposedly, but he's doing evil things on the side. I think Vegapunk is more of someone who is or can lead to great destruction. However, he might not see it that way, or he probably, in the quest for science, that's not how he's going to view it. Why do I think this? Well, in the latest chapter of One Piece, chapter 1067, the Straw Hats had came across Vegapunks, and he told them about Punk Records. Now, for those of you who don't know, Punk Records is pretty much Vegapunk's brain, but in a big laboratory, or it is somewhere physical. He is someone who has reached a point in his intellectual life that his brain literally couldn't keep everything together. He just had too much information. He had to put it somewhere else, where he literally cut off a piece of his head, or he cut off most of his head, because his knowledge or his brain was just so big. He had learned too much. Now, Oda is someone who likes to subvert expectations, and I don't believe that this is going to happen just because Oda wants to subvert expectations. I actually, after reading chapter 1068, I don't think that Punk Records is something that's going to come into fruition, or I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be too important until later on. When I had initially thought of this video, I thought that this would be more of a prominent thing, more of a this is the main thing to stop throughout this arc. But after reading chapter 1068, I don't think it's going in that direction. But I still do want to talk about this. Now, like I was saying, Oda is someone who likes to subvert expectations. But I'm not thinking that Vegapunk is planning anything evil just because Oda wants to subvert our expectations. I think that Vegapunk is planning to do something evil because he doesn't know it's evil. Now, in the latest chapter, or one of the latest chapters, chapter 1067, there's a quote by Bonnie the Pirate, or Bonnie the Glutton, where she says that your endless quest for knowledge will spare no one in its greed. I thought this was interesting because Bonnie is someone who has firsthand seen the things that Vegapunk is capable of, and she is someone who has been affected and has suffered from one of Vegapunk's creations, one of Vegapunk's ideas, even though it wasn't her suffering directly. Even though it was, because it was her father. It was Kuma. Now, I thought that quote was interesting because although One Piece is a story and these characters do have their own individual thoughts and they do live like their own individual lives in a way, at the end of the day, it's all written by Oda. So I feel when he adds things like this, it's not just because he wants to add them in there. He thinks they're interesting little tidbits. I think it's because he knows what is going to happen more down the line in the future, or he's just giving us little clues onto why we should watch out for Vegapunk, even though he has been claimed, or even though he's claimed to be someone who's on the good side, someone who's on the revolutionary side. Now, Punk Records. So, like I was saying earlier, Punk Records is Vegapunk's brain stored in a database. And something that is Vegapunk's goal was that he had stated that he believes if everyone can connect to Punk Records, which is what him and his clones do, they connect to Punk Records daily so that at the end of the day, they all synchronize too, so they can all share their different types of memory, or they can all share the data that they learned. And because all of these people are different people, now, although they are all Vegapunk, they do have different personalities. You can tell while reading the chapters. And so the reason that Punk Records is so important to Vegapunk is because he has the knowledge from these 6 other different beings that are him. So they're as intelligent as him, but they don't have the same perspective as him. They don't have the exact same thought process as him. In a way, if that makes sense. Now, having said that, one of Vegapunk's goals was that he stated if he can somehow connect everybody, or if somehow everyone in the world can also connect to Punk Records, that he believes they'll have a database of information far greater than what he currently has, which I believe is something that, yes, it can happen. And I have, when talking to other people, they said that to other people, they think of it more as like Vegapunk creating the internet. But that's not really what I'm thinking. because there's a part when Vegapunk says one day humanity will be able to share a brain. I think that's more in a literal sense than a, oh, one day we can all get on the internet and that will be the so-called brain. No, I'm thinking that Vegapunk legit wants everyone to somehow share a brain. I feel that Vegapunk wouldn't just want people to connect to Punk Records just so that they can enter their type of data or their thought processes, but I feel like Vegapunk in a way would try to enhance other people's thought processes. That way they can get more scientific research, or they can get more efficient research, other than having people randomly put in random facts and random information that they have. If in Vegapunk's mind everybody can share a brain, I believe that in his head everybody's going to be around the same level of intellect, and having that happen is something that, one, I don't think the Straw Hats are going to want. And something that this reminds me of, or something that also brought me to this idea, was I had recently watched One Piece film Red, and the main thing from that plot, now tangent, but a lot of the One Piece movies often have something to do with the show or with the manga while it's releasing, even though it's not in a big deal or it might not be in a big way. It does take inspiration from the show. And I had recently watched One Piece film Red, where in that story the main character, or the main antagonist Uta, had this devil fruit where she can put everybody in a dream, or anybody who listens to her music will be put to sleep, and then they will enter her dream world. I feel that Punk Records in a way is going to be like Uta's singing fruit, in the fact that Punk Records might need to connect everybody, but everybody might not be aware that they're being connected. It's gonna have to be something that Vegapunk does, and it's not really a choice in whether they want to do that or not. I feel that instantly connecting to people, or instantly having people connect to Punk Records, is going to be one of those type of things where Vegapunk in a way is controlling you, or in a way you don't have full control of yourself because you're not yourself. You're a part of Vegapunk, or Vegapunk is a part of you now. Now, where am I going with this? I believe throughout this arc, even if not this arc, I believe throughout the series, something to watch out for will be Vegapunk. Like I said, I don't necessarily think that he's evil, but I feel like he is someone who kind of has to be stopped. Because, okay, the main thing about this is, when will he do it? If he wants to connect everyone to Punk Records, when will it happen? Will it happen during this arc, or is it something toward the future? Because knowing Oda, he wouldn't just say that just to throw it away. He's going to say that because it's going to be a pivotal plot point somewhere in the story. Now, is that going to be currently in the story? Is that going to be toward the future of the story? I don't know. But if it's more toward the current side of the story, where there's going to be something Vegapunk's going to try to do now, I feel that the way we can go, or I feel like somewhere where the story's gonna go, is gonna be, in a way, the Straw Hats. Okay, so if Vegapunk wants to connect everybody to Punk Records immediately, then I feel the Straw Hats are gonna have to stop him in some way, somehow. The Straw Hats can't allow Vegapunk to do this, because one thing that Luffy has literally always talked about was he wants to be free. He wants to be the freest person ever. But being connected to Punk Records, or having to share a brain with everybody else, isn't the type of freedom that I think Luffy's going to want. And I don't think that's something that he's going to be fine with Vegapunk kind of just thrusting onto people. I don't think that Luffy, if Vegapunk wanted to do this immediately, Luffy's just going to be cool with it. Luffy's going to be like, yeah, we'll help you. I feel like this is something that the Straw Hats are going to have to stop. Vegapunk, at some point, we're not going to let him do the thing that he wants to do, or the thing that he feels he has to do. The way I think this arc will go, it will go one of two ways. There is the reality in which Vegapunk wants to do Punk Records immediately, and Vegapunk wants to do Punk Records somewhere in the distant future. If he wants to do Punk Records immediately, I feel that somehow, some way, the Straw Hats are going to have to help stop Vegapunk, because I don't think that the world or all of humanity sharing a brain is something that necessarily the Straw Hats would like, specifically Luffy, or just in general, because, like I said, even when questioned by Jinbei, wouldn't that be a problem because of just how many different ideologies and beliefs that the world has? Vegapunk stated, Oh, Jinbei, son of the sea. Yes, although that is a good question, science will never advance if you always think about it or if you spend your whole time worrying about it. This is something important because it shows that Vegapunk doesn't have a regard for what happens to himself. He doesn't care about what happens to others as long as science is being progressed. And if that were to be the fact, the Straw Hats are going to have to stop him. They can't let this plan of his really happen. Now, I can see either for some reason the Straw Hats would team up with Cypher Pole and either try to take down Vegapunk or try to stop Vegapunk from doing his initial wish. Now, I can see why Cypher Pole would want to stop Vegapunk. He has, and even in this last chapter, chapter 1068, he has stated that throughout his years and throughout doing all this research of his, he has learned so much, not only about the world and not only about science, but about the Void Century and about things that he's not supposed to know. I believe the government knows this, which is why they want to take him out, which is why CP0 is on Egghead trying to take out all the Vegapunks. Obviously, the Straw Hats can't just let CP0 take down all the Vegapunks, and the Straw Hats can't just let Vegapunk launch Punk Record and have all of humanity connect and sync and have one brain. That's something that it just can't happen in the story. It's something that's a little too late to actually be a feasible thing where, oh yeah, we're just gonna connect all of humanity to Punk Records. I think that's too crazy to happen. So at some point that plot is going to have to be stopped, or that idea is going to have to be changed. Now, I believe the way that this arc is going is Punk Records is really something for the future. I think that Vegapunk is trying to get off of the island and he is trying to do something different. But I don't think that old man Vegapunk or the original Vegapunk is the one that's leaving Egghead. I think that another Vegapunk is leaving, and I think that this Vegapunk is going to be the new Straw Hat crew member. I think that Vegapunk Lilith is the best choice to have a Vegapunk join the Straw Hats. Not only because she's the first Vegapunk that the Straw Hats met, she's the very first Vegapunk that we as a fan base were introduced to. We saw the silhouettes, we've seen ideas or what Vegapunk could be, but everybody went crazy when that one chapter came out and everybody was like, oh shit, this is Vegapunk. We're finally meeting this person. Now, most people already knew that this isn't the original Vegapunk, but just having this Vegapunk be our Vegapunk and being the Vegapunk toward the future, I feel is something that would be... It would be like a feel-good kind of moment, a feel-good kind of thing. And I feel that it's something that Oda can do, especially since Yamato wasn't added to the crew at the end of Wano. I feel like that might have been because he wants to add another female character that might have kind of the same character traits as Yamato, which I think Lilith does share some of Yamato's traits. She is someone very brash and someone very quick to not only assume, but she's quick to jump into action. And I think that's a good dynamic for the Straw Hats. Not all of them are quick to just, what'd you say, or so quick to just stand her ground. I feel like that's something that's going to be good for the Straw Hats dynamic, and something that I would enjoy, honestly, if we did get a new Straw Hat, and that Straw Hat was one of the most famous people or one of the most revered scientists in the world, Vegapunk. Most people know Vegapunk is an old man, hence the fact that everybody calls him Old Man Vegapunk. But I feel that, and even if people don't know that Vegapunk is on the Straw Hats, that could be good, because this could be Lilith making her own journey, making her own story, and this is her version of how she became the smartest woman in the world, or how she became one of the most prominent figures in the world. Because as we know, the Straw Hats, they gotta be prominent figures. They got to have something about them that's just different, that puts them over the top than everybody else. And I feel like this would be a good thing to do, or this could be really cool as a fan, as somebody who likes the story, and I just want to see cool moments and stuff. I feel like this would be really interesting. And like I said, it's a theory. It's something that I would like to see personally. Now, if that does happen, what happens to all the Vegapunks? Will all of them be eliminated? Will some of them be eliminated? Will the old man Vegapunk still go with the Straw Hats, even if he has this plan to have everybody's brain be one? How would the Straw Hats feel about that? Now, he already told Luffy and them his plan, but I don't know if Luffy truly comprehends what Vegapunk was saying. That being said, I feel that once they do stop Vegapunk, there's going to have to be one Vegapunk. I don't think that all the Vegapunks will be eliminated. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was how Vegapunk was stating that he wants to find that ultimate power source. He wants to find that thing that people in the past used to have for them to power the giant robot. And this is something that Vegapunk Lilith had also talked about. She was looking for an eternal flame. She was looking for a better power source. And I feel that a way to transfer over Vegapunk's will, or the will of P, would be through Vegapunk Lilith. Would be through someone trying to also find this ultimate power source and having them travel with the Straw Hats, not to necessarily do Vegapunk's ultimate mission of connecting everybody and everybody sharing one brain, but to find this ultimate power source, to be the next person, to be the next stepping stone and the next great scientist of this new era. Because Vegapunk's old, and something that has recently been going on in One Piece is the passing of the new age, or the dawn of the new age, in which a lot of the older characters are starting to have their storylines finished, wrapped up, whatever you want to say. And who knows? Who knows? Vegapunk's story can be coming to an end. That's something that we don't know yet. Even though we just were introduced to this character, I wouldn't be too surprised if just like that he's gone. If just like that one of the most influential people through the whole story is taken out for a reason or whatever, and then we have to have this new Vegapunk, this new genius, be that next pillar, be the person that carries on the will of Vegapunk. I feel like that'll be an interesting way to take the story, and an interesting reason to add one of the Vegapunks to the Straw Hats. My best candidate, or my best suggestion, would be Lilith. That's pretty much where I'm gonna leave it at. I had wrote the things for this video. I don't know where we're going or where this video will go. Honestly, this feels very scrambled to me. I tried something new. I'm gonna say that. My last video, I had actually wrote down the whole script, and this one was more of notes jotted down and pretty much trying to go with the flow, trying to bring everything together. So I am gonna be interested on how this video comes out. Other than that, to whoever is watching this, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below what you think is something crazy that's gonna happen in One Piece. Let me know if you even read One Piece, if you watch One Piece. Okay, let me know in the comments if you're an anime only or a let me know in the comments if you're an anime only, or if you're a manga only, or if you do both, or if you read and or watch both. But like I said, I feel like this is a good way to end the video. I know that this probably feels, as of right now, this feels like I was everywhere. Now throughout the editing process, I am gonna try to make this sound more cohesive and more all together. But other than that, to whoever is watching, thank you so much. Like the video if you like the content, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I am constantly working on projects. I do plan to make more videos to have this channel grow, and in the future grow another channel that I already have started. However, I haven't really launched the essence of what I wanted. No, I've launched the essence of what I want it to be. I just don't have time to be working on both of these channels right now. So this is going to be my main channel for now. In the future, when I have more time, I do really wish to work on that other channel. It's going to be a Spanish channel. It's going to be almost like this one, just Spanish context. But again, to whoever is watching, thank you so much. If you like the video, please subscribe if you like the content. I can't thank you enough for watching. Thank you for supporting. Even if you don't support, even if you just watch this, even if you're never going to watch another video, thank you for your time. And just, I hope you have a good night. It is currently 11:23. I talked about what I wanted to talk about. And yeah, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know when you started watching One Piece and how long you've been watching it, and whether or not you're caught up all the way to the series. Other than that, again, thank you so much. Y'all have a great night, and thank you so much. Bye bye.